Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. On with the Halloween stuff. Found this on eBay. Toy store on eBay, doesn't seem to have an actual store. And this one was it $7.99? It was $3.99 to get just one, like a single squishy to try and make. Or I think $7.99 for three. So I went for the three in case we went wrong. Now, apparently you can make a squishy toy out of this, which I'm curious to see how it works. Now, because it's Halloween, I picked the monsters, but there is squishy cuties as well. It's suggesting that you can make something that you can squeeze like a squishy. I don't know what this stuff could be that would dry so that that could be malleable so you can sculpt it, but dry so you can squeeze it. Let's open it and find out. There's no instructions on the box, so let's move that out of the way. We have a sheet of stickers. Oh, quite like the little cactus lady. I'm guessing this is the instructions, and do we have... We do not, because this is a toy from Ukraine again, so... Oh, we do have English instructions this time. Making a squishy is easy and fun. Create the hero using the instructions. Flip over the squish and make a lot of holes using a modelling tool because of necessary for the air somewhere to seep out when it will be compressed. Wait until the squish is completely dry, 24 hours. Don't squeeze the squish that you have just made because it will deform. So cover it, poke holes. 24 hours later, we should have a squishy. So is this going to be like silk clay then? Because that's the only clay that I could think of that you could do this with. Nothing feels like it's gone funny, but I guess we'll find out when we open it. Shall we try and make the monsters that they're suggesting? We'll make one per their instructions and then we'll go rogue with the others, so just to see. Now that looks to be... Well, there's only one light blue, so I'm guessing that's dark blue, so let's find out. Yeah, that feels like it's silk clay to me, which is like really soft, airy. So let's try and cover him in the blue for our blue Frankenstein. I might need to have made that first layer a bit thinner. I've already got holes, so I might not need to worry about poking holes in them. Yeah, this is silk clay without a doubt. Well, it's going to be interesting to try and sculpt over sponge, because I haven't... Have I ever done that before? No, I don't think I've ever done that before. Because you can't press on it. It just wants to squish. Right, black. And give him some hair. He has hair. And we want to put a face on there. Black and white. So now there's only a tiny bit of white. 1, 2 little bolts. Let's start using our tool. Because we're going to use the tool provided. Stick a bolt. Stick a bolt. Face. Eyes. Is there meant to be like a scar on him? There is meant to be a scar on him. Alright, we'll try and do that. Let's just put his eyebrows on. And the mouth. And the little scar. Oh, well, his scar came out pretty good. Right. White for one tooth and a couple of dots of white for the eyes. So a little tiny dot. Oh. Well, there's our little blue Frankenstein. Is this use this to poke holes in the bottom? So I think we have in some respects. I'm determined to use the tool like we're meant to, but I can't see if we've made holes or not. Okay. Well, I'll leave him to dry like that way up, so hopefully the holes won't close in on themselves. Now, shall we do one more together? And then we'll keep the last one as a surprise. Okay, I think we'll make... We've got lots of green. Let's make a little monster together. I will be honest now. And whilst these are very fun to put together, I would be pleasantly surprised if they worked. We've already got holes in this one, so we might not need to put any holes in the bottom. I'm going to try and cover them up. But since it's going to be a monster of a nondescript nature at the moment, I guess it doesn't matter how rough this one looks. Much like the Frankenstein, we can get away with it looking quite rough and ready. I'll try and fill all these holes in for now. I guess we'll keep the thick bit as the top and the thin bit as the bottom, because then hopefully it'll be easier to poke holes in. We have a basis for our monster. Let's give him maybe some tentacle-like bits, some tentacle-like appendages. This looks like it's a slightly different coloured green to the other two. Now, I don't know whether these are going to be coming out of his head or if they're going to be his arms. We'll make up our mind as we go in. Maybe a tail. Maybe. Green, purple. I've already got some black and white out. Don't know about the fleshy stuff yet. Might save that for the mystery one. Let's give him some splodges. But bring everything together. Yes, much needed breakup in the colour. Right, we have something forming here. And some slightly raised bits. Gonna be his eyes. Should we give him a mouth? Maybe a mouth over here? Oh yeah, we forgot to give Frankenstein a tooth. There we go. Nearly forgot to give him a tooth. Right. Mouth. Well, we'll keep it with the green, black and white for the features, so there's a bit of consistency. In fact, this is where we will add a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of red for a tongue. So we want to put it behind the teeth. Or the block of tooth. Yeah, like that. And it can be coming up and licking his eyeball. Yeah. Made a monster. Alright, let's try and poke some holes in his bottom here. Well, I am determined to try and do this with the tool provided. Well, there's a couple of holes, so right. When we're going to come back in 24 hours, there'll be a surprise monster joining them. And we'll see if these actually work. 24 hours later, a little bit over. They are dry. Not sticky. On Frankenstein. Bit rough around the edges. Our random monster / alien. And the mystery one, eyeball mouth, which I quite like. Now, the important question. Do they work? Yeah. They work. I probably didn't need to make as big a holes. Now, with these two, as you saw, I tried pretty much just gouging holes. He works any which way I squish him. And he inflates pretty quick. With this one, I used a clothespin to make some small holes. And that goes back slowly. But they work. So I'm impressed. I didn't think they were going to work for a bit of sponge, and I knew silk clay had quite a bit of play to it because I've used it in the past to make things. I've never tried like deforming it to see if it'd come back. Though if you've got nails, you're gonna stick your nails in there. I never tried deforming it before to see if it had come back. Right, to pretty much its original shape. So yeah, I think the only thing I would recommend is, like say, using a pin like a clothespin or a safety pin or even a pencil to make smaller holes so it'll inflate slower. But apart from that, this was a fun little set. I highly recommend it. I'm pleased with that. Everything that they've given you has worked to make squishies. Well, let me know what you think. What one's your favourite? The one that you are meant to make? The one that I showed you I was going to make? Or the surprise? The surprise ball? I quite like the surprise ball. I like the alien too because he's a bit cheeky. He's a bit random and a bit cheeky. But I do like the surprise ball. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me and my channel out. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative and helpful. Like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more. Thank you all again so much. Take care and see you in the next one.